Welcome once again to Hunter's Entertainment on Twitch.tv. As always, I am Noxweiler Burf, and I will be your game master, your guide, as we explore a dark and challenging world of survival horror. We are, as always, playing Outbreak Undead, and if you're unfamiliar with Outbreak Undead, this game is brutal. It is unforgiving. It can be cruel, but it is a simulation game, unlike many other games that perhaps you've played in the past. It is available on our website if you would like to find it on Drive-Thru RPG or wherever a friendly local gaming store may be located near you. Outbreak Undead offers us all an opportunity to explore the dark and dangerous world of a zombie apocalypse. Of course, I, as the game master, have confirmed consent with each and every one of the players at the table with me tonight. I am surrounded by talented role players, and I am honored that they trust me with that honor, so that I can lead them through this dark world in a safe and secure manner. That said, we are exploring content that you are going to need to give us consent for as well. We ask that you please read the content warning very closely, as we will be exploring dark themes, and we want to be clear with you about what those dark themes are. We don't wish to surprise you, but there are surprising instances within this game. The human condition is going to be unraveled before us in the safe confines of our imagination, but I want to make sure before we move forward that all of you as our audience are also clear on what is going to happen here tonight. You see, like I said, the game is very brutal, but not every character that is at the table tonight is playing with the same objectives and motivations. They themselves may be working against each other. They may be in communication with outside forces and directly opposed to one another. It can lead to tense and surprising situations that none of us can plan for. In this world, there are no magical swords to be discovered. There are no valiant knights, no castle walls to hide behind. It is what it would be left behind of our own world were we to witness a true apocalypse 20 years down the line. In this game, the world ended in 1995. So we'll be exploring what that world would be like, how technology would be stunted, and how these characters would adapt and evolve and find ways to make their survival possible. Through all of this, through the darkness that we seek to explore, hope burns the brightest, and we seek to show that to you tonight. It is about finding silver linings and about exploring something true in the human condition. We don't do this lightly. And I'm very thankful to everyone who's made it possible. The entire Hunters Entertainment team, JB Jara, Alex Hillman, and everyone else who helps us to make this campaign possible. It is very special to me, and I'm glad that we've been able to continue it so long. If you're new, I would suggest that you sign up for the Scry program in the panels below. You can engage directly with the communities of our apocalypse, and you can take on the role of a survivor yourself. You can help to divert resources and goods to where you think they're most needed, and you can be certain that your choices will matter. They will be the difference between life and death. All of the varied settlements and civilizations and non-player characters, those characters will live or die based on where the resources find themselves, whether certain thresholds are met. We don't do this to be cruel, we do it to involve you. When you provide food and water to the settlements, it does mean that those individuals will be able to continue forward. There is a game within our game, and it's about to grow. So we encourage you to enroll now. soon enough that map is going to change. And when it does, we think you're going to be very excited by the prospects that it holds. As always, we ask that if you enjoy this content, please make some noise for us on social media. Find us on YouTube, leave a comment, subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the Hunters Entertainment YouTube channel, and bring more survivors into the fold. Let your friends know if you think that they might be interested in this particular brand of Dark Ride that we are here and that we are playing a game that is different than quite a few of the others that are available. We can only do that, of course, with your support. Enough of all of that, however. Allow me to introduce you to the players in tonight's little nightmare. Each of them, due to your generosity, is going to be receiving an additional competency point tonight. And from what I understand, there will be an additional competency point for next week as well. Don't let this dissuade you from continuing to subscribe to the channel or to follow if you're not already following. We will continue to bank those competency points once those thresholds are met. And if we repeat it multiple times over, we may have to find a different way to resolve the reward. So thank you. First of all, Michelle will be back with us. If you are wondering where she is, rest assured that she will be joining us briefly. But in the meanwhile, Markia, would you like to talk a little bit about your character and all of the things that you do across the internet?
Hello, everyone. I'm Markia McCarty. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Markia McCarty. It's my name. Here on Twitch is Darth Markia, and Facebook it's Markia TV. And as far as things far and wide on the internet, as I stall and bring up my calendar, and my phone is frozen. Yay, Mercury retrograde. Okay. Um, something that I always do is I am the narrator and host of Something Scary, which is a animated horror YouTube channel that is youtube.com/snarled. And we also drop a podcast. This is weekly on Tuesdays, where I narrate an additional 3 to 4 horror stories, all fan submitted from different parts of the world that we adapt and just kick it up to the horror volume of 11 for you. So I don't have my calendar in front of me right now. There are a number of things I wanted to talk about, but just follow me on social media and you'll be able to see everything there. As far as my character Chira that I play for here, she has been through a roller coaster of past things in her past coming into her present, such as her fear of bears and her want and need to set things on fire when she's put between a rock and a hard place, which is what we found out last week when she set the I guess the only shelter that we really knew of within this section of our region, set that on fire because there were a number of hostile individuals coming towards them, and amongst other things ended up taking a fall through the roof of that, to possibly rejoin some other teammates that she didn't realize were trapped inside this cabin that she set on fire. Did I mention that there's also traps and another bear in there? There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. And if you're new to our campaign, rest assured that we will be recapping all of those instances and talking about what brought all of the characters here. You won't be left in the dark for long. May, would you like to talk a little bit about the character that you're going to play tonight and about all the things that you do across the internet?
Sure. Hi there. I am Melee Damage. You can catch me on all the socials at whatever they are /Melee Damage. I've got a lot of things going on. Just finished another short film for the 24-hour film race. Doing a full-length film right now. Almost done with the music video. And I have a new D&D campaign stream that I will be joining Aliza Pearl as our DM. And that will be on believe every Saturday around noon. So follow me on the Twitters and you can get the link to that and check that out this Saturday for it. I will be playing Rowan. She is kind of a hard ass. She is nobody's favorite person, and she is, I believe, last I checked, maybe or maybe not exploded yet again. So yeah, I'm very excited to see how this goes. If I'm going to be having to do more scar makeup on my face.
Thanks again for being with us. And if you're not following any of these individuals or only some of them, be sure to find them on social media and give them your attention. They're very, very active. And if you're within the game space, I don't think you're going to be disappointed by following them. So we do have a guest with us once again. You are with us one more time. We haven't scared you away. We're glad for that. Cynthia, would you like to talk a little bit about all the things that you do across the internet and who you're going to be playing tonight?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me back again. I'm Cynthia Marie. You guys can find me on Twitter at CynDancer or Instagram Cynthia__Marie. I play Nelly G on LA by Night. And this weekend is actually Elysium Weekend of Darkness, which is going to be on Renegade Games. It's going to be a whole weekend of Vampire. So I'll be talking a little bit maybe about LA by Night, but most importantly, we're also going to be premiering the Nightlife, which is basically Miami vampires. So stay tuned. I'm really excited to play that, and that's going to be weeklies on Wednesday after our premiere on Friday. So check out the premiere on Friday. Follow me on socials, and you can find out where all the other stuff is. Otherwise, I'm playing with you guys, which I'm really excited to play. I'm playing a new character named Camila Cervantes, and we just revealed that she is she left the Citadel.
She is AWOL.
Yeah, she is AWOL, and she has a couple of surprises.
Mm-hmm. Things are about to get interesting, especially as we do have Rowan back with us tonight. So, without further ado, thank you for your time. The road is ahead of us. We should get moving. It's getting dark. We'll be right back. The world ended on Monday, May 29th, 1995. The sky fell, and the dead would not die. Civilization quickly collapsed, and the sickness spread like lightning to even the most remote reaches of the world. They called it many things, but it started out as simply another round of the summer flu. It became something far worse. H195, commonly called the Legacy or the Reaper, It was even more deadly to those who had passed it on through their untimely death. It moved, it mutated. At first, it seemed as if no one was immune to the airborne strain, but eventually it appeared that 0.01% of the population had a natural immunity. However, even those lucky souls couldn't withstand a concentrated introduction of the virus through a bite or a deep scratch or blood-on-blood contact. You see, the dead did not lie peacefully when they passed from the disease. When their heart stopped, their body continued to fight forward, racked with a madness, a ravenous hunger, endless rage. Friends and family turned upon one another, and the world descended into utter chaos. The end of days were like wildfire, and throughout the world, people sought security and sanctuary where there was none to be had. Entire cities burnt to the ground. Still, miraculously, some survived. And for the next 25 years, life has struggled forward. The world now is a fractured place, but some seek to make civilization anew. Rag and bone merchants work their trade across the remains of what some once knew as the United States of America. They find things. They travel. They bring resources to those who need things desperately. They bring information, education, news, gossip, medicine, food, water, weapons, and sometimes rag and bone brings something else. The Ender's Line is one such group. They use old railway tracks to connect the small scattered outposts and settlements across the Midwestern United States and beyond. They work hard to find those that they deem worthy of their aid. They try to support where they can. They have a vested interest in seeing mercantile routes unify together. It is perhaps not altruistic, but in a world full of zombie hordes, altruism, it's a dangerous thing. The rag and bone known as the Ender's Line has come under siege. Still, they remain a lifeline to a world that now fully belongs to the dead. Rowan, when you reached forward, desperate to try to catch the tripwire before it was triggered by Faith, one of your students, a soldier within the army that you serve at the Citadel. She's good. She's smart. This sort of mistake is not like her. But she became confident that the trap that she had found, the tripwire that was stretched across the dining room of that cabin, she was confident that that tripwire was simply an alarm, one set to rattle some pots and pans that had been tied to it. You, however, having witnessed this sort of double-laid trap in the past, You were suspicious. Your suspicions were well-founded. Just as she was about to unlatch the trap, you saw the other tripwire, and you lunged forward, hoping that you would be able to catch it. Unfortunately, you were not fast enough. The floor beneath the rug in that cabin dropped out beneath Faith, and she tumbled downward into a pit. If it were not for her pack, she would have been impaled by the sharpened spears that lie at the bottom of a 20-foot drop into a series of dirt cellars beneath the cabin. This is no ordinary vacationing location that has been forgotten about by time. This cabin has been intentionally rebuilt, repurposed, and laid as bait to those who may travel through these woods. You and the members of your group, soldiers of the Citadel, have taken point in a group of somewhat chaotic individuals who are traveling currently to make their way to the stronghold of an individual known as Blockbuster. Blockbuster is dead. However, his stronghold remains undiscovered. Within it, thanks to Kusanagi, one of the other survivors that you have begun traveling with, within it you know there is an enormous archive of both VHS tape and traditional record. Rumors have assailed all of you within the Citadel that perhaps this individual had something more. Secrets of a different type. Something that would be important. Something that could perhaps change everything within the varied settlements of this region. You're uncertain as to the validity of it, but you have chosen to travel with this small group, despite the differences that you have with many of them. You, Riggs, and the other lieutenants of the Citadel have been working hard to maintain control within an ever-expanding territory. Command doesn't seem to want to stop. Command wants results. Command wants more civilizations, more small communities brought into the protection of the Citadel so that they can produce. If they can produce goods and services through farming or through whatever trade they choose, the Citadel can grow stronger. However, that sort of expansion requires oversight, and already your people have been spread dangerously thin. The defenses of the Citadel have already been shown to be lacking. It was just a week or so ago that the Citadel was sabotaged by a number of malcontents from a group that you now know was part of the Grey Ridge debacle. However, standing in the darkness of this cabin, a hand crank flashlight, your only illumination, you see Omar's face drop along with Faith. Omar does not fall, but you know that as he has taken Faith as a surrogate sister, he's not going to think clearly about what needs to be done next. I would like for you to make a spot listen check as immediately you become alert to your surroundings, knowing that with the alarm, those outsiders will arrive. The individuals that attacked you on the road.
Is there a difficulty level or difficulty dice with that?
No difficulty dice are going to be added to this roll. Your military training and your razor sharp reaction to the situation is going to allow you to move forward without that. However, you currently have 3 degrees of failure on your spot listen. Perhaps that is because Faith is shouting up at you.
I would still like to use 4 competency points to make that one success if possible.
You can use 4 competency points right away if you wish, and in doing so, it will allow you to have a single competency. You and Faith quickly exchange words, and it is decided that Faith is going to move further down the tunnel. You and Omar are going to make your way to the back of the cabin and try to find out where these cellars either terminate or if there is an exterior entrance. Most buildings of this sort have tornado shelters, places where food and other sundries are kept. It is your thought that if you leave through the back, you will probably find a way down to Faith, one that doesn't require you to navigate a 20-foot drop or a pit of spikes.
Yeah, I'm that way.
Faith is capable, and you and Omar move forward, although you can tell that Omar is very nervous. Neither of you are prepared for the arrow that shoots out from the side of what must be a bedroom. An individual is here within the cabin. Both you and Omar are under fire. What is your intention?
I would like to get out of the dodge of where the arrows are hailing from and get to a position to see if I can see where they're actually coming from. Like if I could duck behind something and like kind of look into the room that they're coming out of, that would be a goal.
All right, you're going to look for a place to take some sort of cover. This filthy, rundown cabin is full of rot. There are old pieces of furniture that are covered in vines and cobwebs. Plants have taken their place here, as many of the windows have been broken out, but just as many of them have been overgrown by dense vegetation on the outside of the building itself. There are holes in the ceiling that allow you to see the night sky and the tree canopy above you. You can hide in many places in this rundown, beat up, empty, hollow cabin. However, to do so, I'm going to have to ask that you make a roll for me, please. Would you make a stealth roll for me? All right.
I'll use 2 more competency to make that less bad.
Right. So the problem here is that you have rolled a 4 degrees of failure on your stealth check, and you want to spend 2 competency to make it less than a catastrophic failure, correct? All right. So let's talk about how Rowan still fails here. I feel as if, because of the tight confines of the cabin itself, the fact that you were not anticipating the attack, which is something that enrages you to some amount of reasonability, you should have been aware of the potential attack from that room. However, you were distracted. And because of that distraction, I think that your stealth fails. But as you fail, I'm going to say that you are separated from Omar, who drops down and takes cover on the opposite side of the cabin, rolling towards a staircase. As you drop and avoid another arrow, it pushes you into the kitchen.
Rowan will stay low, but when she sees that she's separated from Omar, she's just gonna go, shit. She's gonna look over and see if she can at least like get his attention, like when he pops back up.
Yeah, he has his gun trained on the bedroom, and he's looking to you for permission to fire.
Rowan nods. Once she makes eye contact with him, she kind of does the signal that it's like once you see him.
Yeah, so he scopes up, and he is tracking any sort of movement that might happen in the bedroom that is to the distance from the area that you are in. If you look at the map here that I have on Roll20, Rowan, you are now in the kitchen here, and up against this landing, the staircase here, Omar is now pointed back to this bedroom. There are windows in the dining area and the living area. However, all of those windows are overgrown. There is an open door, and you do have some companions somewhere on the outside of this cabin. What would you like to do?
Just to be clear, you said I was close to the open door, correct? Or an open window of some sort?
There is an open door for the bedroom that someone has fired out of. The
Okay.
back door, you believe, is through either this bedroom or the other bedroom that leads out onto the wraparound porch that surrounds this building.
She's going to try, if she can, to very quickly move to the other bedroom that the shots didn't come from, to see if she can get to the back door in there, or if there is a back door in there that she can kind of signal to the rest of the group outside for some assistance.
Right. If you wish to do that, you can make either a stealth check if you wish to do so and not be seen. But if you're just charging through, hoping to be able to make it to the other side, I would have you make a dodge.
I'm going to make a dodge. I feel like Rowan would Rambo through this.
All right. So you're going to try to strong arm your way through this very tight opening here into the bedroom. There's like an alcove that has the two doors on either side. And you're running past the door that the arrow came out from. And as you do, Rowan, it's a very bad night for you, my friend. You have 5 degrees of failure on your dodge.
I'm going to use what little bit of competency I have left. I have 2 left, and I'm going to make that less bad, and that is what I can do.
You have 2 competency remaining.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have 3 degrees of failure on top of a number of other failures that have put you into a very precarious situation within this cabin. And you feel the eyes upon you as you start to charge. You know that your unseen opponent is aware of exactly where you are. And your boots slam against the creaking old wood of the cabin. Dust flies up around you. The flashlight that's in your hand sputters for a moment. Losing power, it strobes for just an instant. And in that instant, you're unable to see that the rug in front of you doesn't look quite right. And you trigger a second pit trap. As you enter into the bedroom, you see the doorway that you were trying to reach, and then gravity takes you down to the dirt cellar beneath as you drop 20 feet below. What I would like for you to do is to either make a endurance check or a dodge check to try to mitigate the damage that you are potentially going to take from the fall. Neither a jump or a leap or a lift or a pull at this point are going to help you. This is reactive.
There's no hope.
Yeah, there is no hope. As you try to brace yourself and prevent yourself from sustaining heavy damage here, you throw your arms in front of yourself, and Rowan, you hit the ground hard. However, there are no spears in this pit. And you have found that while you have not been impaled, something in this room smells like death. Something smells dead and rotting. And you hear the flies as soon as your ears stop ringing from the impact.
If I can, I'd look to see if there's a way to crawl out of that. I'm gonna check my gear and see if I have anything like rope or anything that I could like throw up and over something.
You do, in fact, have rope and a few other items that you could use. Things that you're well equipped from the Citadel.
Yeah, I'm gonna use something in my gear kit to try and like catch something up on top or like get the rope around something so that I can start like pulling myself up and get myself out of there if I can. I know I'm injured, but Rowan's a military brat and she's still pretty strong even with only one arm or something.
Yeah, I believe that you are all right. So let me check against your fall damage. You have a 1, and a 4. So you can add those to your damage track. And if you pass your threshold, you'll need to migrate those over to your wound track. But I'll help you to do that. That becomes an injury, and then injuries become aggravated, and so on as you continue to harm yourself in the dangerous apocalypse that you found yourself in. So you're at the bottom of this dirt cellar, and you've had the wind heavily knocked out of you. I don't think anything travels over to an injury. Is that correct? And you weren't carrying any injuries before, other than the scars that you now carry from the explosion that Juniper put you through. All right. So in that case, I think that you're battered and you're bruised. And what I will say is that you landed on your pack, and you think that perhaps one of your canteens broke because there's a wetness that surrounds you now, and you probably have less water than you had before. And upon inspection, yes, there is a pierced canteen that you were carrying. So you'll have to find more water or reunite yourself with your companions fairly soon. What is your intention as you gather your rope? Are you going to try to hook it around something, or do you have a grappling hook?
I don't think I have a grappling hook, but if I can just kind of like tie a loop even at the end of it and try and like throw it up and around something and then climb it.
Okay, that does make a certain amount of sense. There was a hallway and a bedroom above you. You reposition yourself and you see a dresser that's sort of tipped over halfway, and you think you might be able to get it around the top of that dresser, and maybe it's heavy enough to hold your weight. You throw the rope upward. Go ahead and let's call that, unless you have a specialty skill, let's call that a survival check.
Survival is
On second thought, I'm going to allow you to make it a throw.
a throw. Okay.
Yeah, make a throw check.
Any difficulty dice?
No difficulty dice. I am going to hold those back for a future instance here. You, despite your failures, you are determined to not remain in this hole. That said, you have rolled 100%, meaning that you have 5 degrees of failure, catastrophic. And how many competency do you have remaining, Rowan?
Actually do have 2 more left because we are still in the woods, right? So I forgot I got those extra 3. So I do still have
I am sorry to tell you, you are in the woods, but you are in this cabin.
Oh,
It has
so
taken you out of the woods.
he's no more competency for me.
Well, Rowan, catastrophic failure here. I'll give you a suggestion, and perhaps you can either elaborate on it or come up with an alternative if you don't like what I have in mind.
I do have a lot of survival points.
I think you throw your rope around the dresser, and the thing is so rotted that you pull it down on yourself. Does that sound fair?
That checks out. Yeah.
You are about 5 feet off the ground when this happens. Falling back to the dirt floor knocks the wind out of you again. It doesn't hurt you. It doesn't cause you any further damage as it's only 5 feet. It just shakes you up a little more. The dresser falling from the first floor, however, is of great concern to you. With 3 black die of difficulty added to your roll, I need you to make a dodge check. Amazingly, you have 1 die of success, a degree of success, and that saves your life. As you roll, the dresser shatters around you, exploding splinters of wood. And then you...
In the immediate area around the hole, just hears a string of obscenities come out from the basement, out of Rowan's mouth.
It's funny you say that, because someone does hear your string of obscenities. And they drop their boot down on your head. I would have you make a resist pain.
Still with 3 difficulty or no?
No dice of difficulty are added to this. You focus despite the attack, and the boot is, you notice now, makeshift leather. It is stitched roughly together from old boots and a variety of animal furs. It stomps down onto your head, and despite the pain that you feel, you're able to remain focused and aware of your surroundings. Now make an endurance check for me.
Unfair.
As you black out, you see a face. A large, imposing man. Much larger than many. 7, maybe 8 feet tall. An enormous, unwashed beard. Bandages wrapped across a good portion of his face. Filth and boils. But the thing that catches your eye is the strange metal collar around his neck that has 2 large animal tusks attached to them. He's sneering at you. And then everything goes black. We'll come back to you. As for the rest of you, Achira, you've just escaped your pursuers. And in doing so, you made a very, very distinctive choice. That rather than be captured or to face them directly, which would be a difficult fight, you took your chances and leapt over a cliff. There were ramshackle buildings strung together, shacks that had been constructed that lead out from the cellars of this cabin into, from your vantage point, create a network of intertwining passageways, all of them leading back into the woods, towards the place where you saw the firelight and heard the drums. You've seen what these marauders can do. You know what they're looking for. You know that they're trying to keep a good number of you alive. They've already killed many of the soldiers that were traveling with you. The decision that your group has made is that the rest of you were intended to be kept fresh for a later day. However, as you made your leap, you broke through the tin roof of one of these structures and found yourself, as you had suspected that they may be somewhere in this area, reunited with a number of your companions. As you fell, you caught eyes with Lampwick, who's bleeding profusely from his shoulder, holding his hand over the wound, looking pale and distracted. On the other side of the hallway, a strange woman who you do not know and Faith are facing a very large member of this group. A marauder who stands at 7 or maybe 8 feet tall. A straggly beard wrapped in filthy bandages across a portion of his face. He has a metal collar and large animal tusks attached to either side of his head. He's dragging chains behind him, and he's swinging at the two women wildly within this confined place, attacking them. What are all of your attentions?
I'm gonna try to catch one of his chains so that I can pull him down to make him prone.
All right. You're going to try to leverage your attack so that you can throw him off guard, perhaps knock him off balance.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a good deal of sense. So to be able to catch the chain, I think you're going to probably need to make a lift pull. I'm going to, unless you have a specialty skill that you would like to bid against it, but I think lift pull is probably the best option here.
I think that's good.
So I do need you to roll a single blue die, as you're not doing anything complicated. That is going to determine what order your action resolves itself. What about Camilla? What are you doing in this moment?
Watching what Faith is doing, I would like to, if possible, withhold my action. I do want to shoot at this person, but I'm gonna try to time it that if she does catch and pull down, I'm gonna try to shoot in the head.
Yeah. Okay. You have the gun that was given to you by Faith still.
Yep.
All right, so go ahead and was that weapon, was that a pistol or was it a rifle?
It was a pistol, right? Faith.
It was a long gun
Oh,
because that was your
So
specialty, right?
yep.
yeah, you're a little close
So I
to be able to fire this. So I'm
Okay.
going to give you a single black die of difficulty, and I'm going to give you a blue. I want you to roll a pair of blue dice because you're trying to draw your weapon up. You're in the middle of this maniac swinging wildly in the middle of this very confined space. So roll those additional dice along with your long gun. Achira, you are new to the scenario. You have just dropped in through the roof. You're shaken up. You're out of breath. However, you're aware of what's happening. What intention do you have for this moment?
Well, me shouting out something that wouldn't count as my attention, right?
No, you can shout something out.
Has Lampwick had a chance to talk to him yet?
Do I get a free action to reply in the middle of this?
Sure.
He might have gotten captured. He might have not. We don't know. We haven't seen him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was Lampwick not in? Oh, did I fall past Lampwick? Like through?
Lampwick is on the other side of you. So
okay, so they haven't seen him. He's like over here, and they're over here.
Yeah, we just like heard him, but we didn't know.
They heard Lampwick scream, and they decided not to go after him.
To be fair, I was not 100% sure it was Lampwick. I just heard screaming, I think.
No, to be fair, you are correct. No,
okay.
To be fair, you are not 100% sure. I did not mean that to sound as accusational as it did. I have no skin in this game as far as who you decide to save and who you decide to kill. However, you heard a man scream, and you thought that it might be Lampwick, though you were not certain. And so you and Camilla decided that you were going to keep going. All right.
Okay.
It turned out to be Lampwick, however.
I see Lampwick behind me. I see them in front of me, with this individual, and like Faith is, well, depending on the speed order. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, Achira is going to try to incapacitate with her crossbow, and she's going to do this by aiming at this dude's junk.
All right. So
we haven't done that yet. Let's do it.
No, I am here to help you make that a reality. However, it is dark. You've just fallen through the roof.
He's really big, and we see
have
the horns.
You have two individuals standing in front of you. I've already described it as a confined space. You're going to have 3 black dice of difficulty to fire upon him in this moment. If you want to reposition yourself, it's going to be easier for you if you can find a better position to shoot from.
Okay, well then how about this? I have flammable flasks on me. I will throw one against his body to cover him in flammable liquid.
You can do that. Again,
that's going over the people and not through
he's very tall, as I've described. So you're going to be able to potentially hit him. However, if you do catastrophically fail this, you have 2 individuals in front of you, and they will most likely take the brunt of this this action.
Let's see how it goes.
Okay, so go ahead and roll. No dice of difficulty are going to be added to it because he's very large. The corridor is tight and it's dark, but you steel yourself and you throw your flammable flask over their head, hoping for the best. And I need you to roll, I'm going to say 2 speed dice, as you have to reach into your pocket or your bag, grab this, and then throw it.
Sorry, I'm having
No, that's all right.
issues with my roll. It just decided to happen. All right, here we go.
All right. So, Achira, you reposition yourself. You dig into your bag. You find the flask that you're looking for. And as this large, filthy, angry man swings wildly at your two companions, you have 3 degrees of failure as it stands.
Because I should have gone for his junk. I'm going to use. This is like a projectile kind of a deal. I'm gonna use 5 competency points.
Mhm.
Oh, me tumbling through the roof into this scenario with this giant dude coming at people with antlers on his head. Is this a location hazard?
He has tusks on his head, but he is a location hazard, yes. I spent risk for him last session.
Then I shall use.
Which, while I'm
use
very
6
thankful. Oh, go ahead.
I'll use 6 competency points to light him on fire.
All right. So you're going to turn this into 3 degrees of success.
Yes.
All right. But you're still operating on a 7. So we're going to have to see what he does on what die he operates on and what happens up until we reach number 7. So let's start at the beginning. I believe we have 2 6s and a 7. So the 2 6s are not going to be operating first. This man is operating first as he swings at the 2 women in front of him. Both of you are under attack, and this chain that he's holding on to with this heavy weight attached to it, it looks like part of an old cinder block. He swings it outward, and despite the fact that this is a very tight corridor, he's very good at projecting it outward away from him. So the 2 of you are free to change your actions and dodge if you would like.
I'm probably gonna dodge. I gotta protect this surprise here.
So if you're going to dodge, I would like for you to go ahead and roll your dodge. You don't have any dice of difficulty, and that will take the place of drawing the gun.
I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing because I feel like. I mean, how would that work? If I got 1 success, so it just goes against his successes.
Yeah.
Successes.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
I'll keep
Unless you
Change.
you change. Yeah, you change your action.
Mm.
So with the dodge, Camilla, you have 2 degrees of failure. However, is there anything that you want to do before we move past that?
Contemplating on whether or not I want to spend competency points to make this at least a success, because I need to get out of the way of this. How many do I need to spend?
You would need to spend 3 to turn that into a success, but you don't know what his attack is in this moment. So he is currently attacking with a weapon, and it is a blunt weapon. It is 3 degrees of success. So you need to beat his success, which means that you would need to spend
a lot more than I have.
6 competencies to beat it.
A lot more than I have. Got it. Cool.
Hey, so listen. Now that I know how many successes he had, should I try to dodge also, or if I like? I guess I'm asking if I keep my action, I'm just gonna get hit because I didn't dodge. Is that correct?
Yes. So both of you are going, because he has a activated trigger to effect.
Yeah.
Swing. Unless you have the desire to alter what you're planning on doing and what you're doing now, he is going to stun both of you.
I will try to dodge then, I guess. Okay, let's try this.
All right.
Come on, please. Can I use any of my gear for dodging, like recon or climbing?
None of that is going to help you in this instance.
That's fair.
Yeah, you're in the middle of this hallway. However, you have 3 degrees of success, which is a tie.
So it has to be above, or can it just be a tie?
If it's a wash, you are going to succeed, actually, because he is attacking you. I'm going to rule that you don't need to spend a competency, but it is so close that what I'm going to ask you to do is to help me narrate how you barely get out of the way and then put yourself at a disadvantage now as far as your positioning. So you get out of the way, but you end up someplace you kind of don't want to be. Either closer to him, or you're now not in his line of sight and you can't see maybe where Camilla is. What do you think is fair?
I think because I was initially going to go like charge forward and grab the chain, when he starts to come for me, I'm already in motion, so that's why I'm able to duck and get past him. But I kind of stumble forward when I'm doing that, and I end up behind him in such a way that my lighter has gone out a long time ago. It's totally dark back here. I can't see because Achira doesn't have a light on her, does she?
Achira did not have a light.
I do.
You have a light, but you didn't have it activated, I don't believe. I don't think you were running through the forest when you were trying to drop that bomb with a flashlight out, right?
No, me trying to set this dude on fire is literally me doing the light for the first time since I entered the room.
Well, I guess I wouldn't be at a disadvantage. Maybe I'm what's the word? Maybe I land prone. So I'm starting from a laying down position,
which is helpful actually for the situation. But yeah, you're on the ground. You'll have to pull yourself up, but it actually makes Achira's action easier. As Achira, you see, and Camilla, we've decided there's nothing else that can really be done about this. You're getting hit. So you do get hit. He is not going for any sort of attack here that seems to be meant to murder you. It seems as if he's trying to knock you out. And you have a 2 and a 1 on your damage track as this chain lashes across your head and it lacerates your temple. There's a trickle of blood. There's ringing, but no serious wound, as it seems as if he wasn't trying to strike either of you with the cinder block, but trying to use the momentum of it to knock you with the chain, to try to knock you down to the ground. That, since both of you have chosen to dodge, brings us to Achira's action. And you, Camilla, get knocked to the ground. Faith, you drop to the ground, getting away from this swinging chain. Achira, you have a clear shot now, and you've already made your throw. And
Flask.
Yeah, but you've spent the competency to make it a success, and it shatters across this man's chest, dead on.
Well, lit it.
Oh, you lit it already. Okay.
Yeah.
You've thrown liquids at people in the past and then lit it after the fact. So I wasn't sure what this move was, but now that I understand,
I'm sorry. I thought I was lighting in. If I didn't specify, then that's completely my bad. If this is just soaked with the liquid and then I do a light, I understand. In my head, I had it a different way and I did not articulate it.
I'm going to allow it. So it's a Molotov. You've already lit it. You throw it. It explodes. And I'm going to roll your damage for the fire. You succeeded with how many degrees of success did you end up landing on? 3?
3.
Okay. So with 3 degrees of success on a Molotov, you're going to be able to trigger the ignition of this individual. So he is on fire now. He is also taking damage immediately, but will continue to take damage from the fire. The other thing that it does is that it temporarily is going to blind him. So he is unaware of where any of you are for the moment, and he got an exploding die there. Great. So he has taken a healthy amount of damage from the flare of fire. You think it might be the animal pelts covered in oil, animal oils. You think that this man is some sort of tanner, and if he has been skinning, he's probably been working pretty closely with a large number of different natural oils, and they are on his body. He lights up fairly quickly, and so starts burning in front of you. There's a scream, and he backs into the doorway that he came out of as he pinwheels away from all of you.
Chira yells, Lampwick! Here! And then looks over at Faith.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No, I was just going to say, you sense Lampwick behind you. You've kind of seen him in the shadows, like while this entire interaction was going on. He's grasping onto his shoulder pretty heavily. Yeah, I'm here. Is everybody okay?
What's okay?
I mean, right. We're not great right now, but listen, I got hit with one of those traps back there, and I'm bleeding pretty badly. I'm probably going to need a tetanus shot. I know that's a big ask, but I think we're going to probably need to get out of here pretty quickly.
You got hit with a trap on your shoulder?
Yeah.
All of the traps have been low, trying to hobble, not going for heads.
I don't know, Achira. They've changed things up. And he explains it to you, looks at you kind of seriously, and is wrapping himself up. So he's trying to take care of himself.
Faith, you and your friend, do you know another way out? Something happened and everything's on fire upstairs.
Oh, that sounds great, just as good as down here. No, we were thought this was the way out. Are there any more corridors out of this room that we were just in?
You can move forward. You see like the glow of the man who like still burst through the doorway. Everybody can make a spot listen, or I'm sorry, a spot listen. Yeah, please.
Is there anything that we can put into that?
Do you have recon gear?
Yes.
Recon gear.
Yeah, definitely. Anyone with recon gear, if you are moving forward in a military style, you could be careful about what's happening around you and paying attention to what you have in front of you.
I think between Camilla, Faith, and then me with previous military background, I think we would naturally go into a formation.
Okay. Does anyone here have? I know Rowan does, but does anyone else have the ability to form specific formations?
Lampwick
does, actually.
Lampwick does.
Yeah. So you are now in a formation. Your composure and your morale is going to be significantly improved, despite the fact that you are in the middle of what seems to be a murder basement. Okay, so Faith, you have 1 degree of success.
Yes.
Achira, you have 2 degrees of failure, and Camilla, you have 1 degree of failure. Do any of you wish to spend competency to alter those results?
Do I need more than 1 degree of success to make it through?
No, 1 degree of success is going to give you an indication of what's ahead of you.
Okay. I'll hold.
So no one else notices because there is a burning man who is, escaping, pulling himself backwards wildly, tripping over barrels and boxes and crates that are on the other side of this doorway. The room ahead of you seems to be significantly larger than most of the shacks that you've passed through. Faith, you see Rowan unconscious on the ground, hands tied behind her back, lying on one of those boxes. No one else sees it, but you know that Rowan is in the room ahead of you. And she looks like she's either unconscious or You hope she's unconscious, because the alternative would be significantly worse given the position that she's in.
Everyone, just I help this dude. What's his name? Lodge, and I'm gonna. Rowan's up there. I gotta go help her, and I rush forward to get to Rowan.
Okay. So you're gonna step through the doorway?
Yep.
All right. You step into the other room, and it seems to be a storehouse. There are large boxes, barrels. Some of it seems to be salvaged. Others seem to be very crudely built. There are baskets that have been woven from natural materials here. There are animal skin bladders that have been filled with liquids. There are lots of strips of dried meat hanging from one side of this room. There is a large barrel of salt that looks very strange. There are some rats and other creatures that move about in the corners of this space. You can hear them. But otherwise, it seems as though you are completely alone. Rowan seems to have been dragged here because there is a pathway of dirt that leads her to the place that she's currently lying on one of these boxes. She's been slumped over it like a rag doll. And the man who is on fire has dropped to the ground and is rolling around in the dirt some distance away from you.
Rowan, wake up. I want to go over to her and see if I can get her conscious using my first aid kits.
Mm-hmm. I will allow that, but I'd like to know what everyone else's intention is. So, Achira, Camilla, what do you do while Faith steps into this room?
Achira's going after the tanner.
Okay, so you're going to go in for the kill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Camilla?
While she's going over there, she'll look over at the other person that's in the room. Name? What do I call you?
I'm Camilla. Sorry.
You actually know how to use that? And Achira looks over at the long gun.
Just watch. I'm a little torn, to be honest with you, because I heard the name Rowan, and I feel like I need to go help as well. But at the same time, like, I'm actually really annoyed at Faith for breaking rank. We shouldn't have broken a formation, especially when we're under siege. So I'm gonna have words, but my better judgment, I'm gonna stick with Achira, because I'm first and foremost a military woman, and I'm not going to break formation or rank. So I'm gonna back up, take a knee, so that I'm in the range for my long gun.
Yeah, Faith has always been headstrong and an individual. That is certainly part of it. She's also younger than many of the Citadel soldiers.
Yeah.
But you managed to reposition yourself. You are no longer, the formation has been broken. So.
Well, does Achira, Lampwick, and Camilla count as a formation?
Lampwick is not moving into that room.
Okay. Got it.
He is staying back and just kind of looks to Camilla. Look, my name is Lampwick, and we're going to help you get out of this.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. All right, who's the leader amongst you guys?
Do you really want to talk right now? Can we just put this one down?
Sounds like she's the leader.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Lampwick says. So you do you both step through the doorway?
I'm gonna hang back as much as possible. A, because I want to get the long gun up and over my rather large belly to make sure that I'm clearing that area, and B, so that I can be in range for the long gun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to pull my long gun for it, because we're my intention is to take this person down before he gets back up again.
Okay.
If I'm not completely certain of the dimensions of this room. If I go into this room to then try to shoot him with the long gun, does that put me at a difficulty dice, or should I hang back for it?
You are going to have better luck with the long gun the further that you get away from this individual. If you're in a close confine hallway, or even this larger room is probably too close. So you're going to be better off staying back. You've got a lot of skill with the gun, and if he clears himself from these boxes, you're going to have a good shot.
Okay, then I think I'll take a knee with the gun to brace myself, and
Mhm.
I'll be taking the shot from here.
Okay, and so then actually, Camilla, Achira, and Lampwick, you are still together in a formation. It is only Faith who's broken out of that formation. So, Faith, I need you to make a first aid roll.
Okay.
I'm going to have you, there are no dice of difficulty, but I do want you to roll, I'm going to say 2 blue speed die, because you're pulling this first aid pack out of your bag. You're assessing where Rowan is physically, and you've just run across this fairly dangerous open area. Not sure if there was somebody else in here that could attack you. So, okay, we'll come back to that in just a minute. Achira, I need you to roll 3 blue speed dice along with your, if you want to fire, uh, you're not going to have any dice of difficulty. You're in a good position. But it is fairly slow because you got to get the rifle out. You've got to prep it. Future uses of the rifle at this point won't be that high. Same for you, Camilla. If you're going to draw your long gun, you need to roll no dice of difficulty added here, but you do have 3 blue speed die for pulling this rifle up and preparing to try to take a shot. So despite that, you are still going first, Achira. You have a 6 on your speed dice. It's a very good roll. Let's see how Camilla rounds this out as you fire your long gun as well. Okay.
Ah.
Actually, Camilla, you are firing first. But this is what you do. No one else knows who you are except for Rowan and Faith, and they don't know what your position within the Citadel is. However, you're kind of smirking to yourself over Achira's comment as you decide to show off a little. You have 5 degrees of success on shooting this man, which is a headshot, and you are shooting him square in the head first before he or anyone else can act. Despite the fact that you didn't have this gun shouldered, you didn't have it prepped, this isn't even your weapon. You are wearing questionable boots that you and Faith found inside of what seemed to be a room full of human skin. And so the situation here, having been, kept here as a prisoner for 3 weeks, has been nightmarish. They have left you alone. No one has harmed you in any overt way. They have given you questionable meals. You've done what you needed to survive. But you think that because you are pregnant, they have decided not to hurt you. Or not hurt you yet. So you've just shot this man in the head. Do you want to add anything to it, or should I just tell you that he's dead?
What can I add?
Do you say anything to Achira and the group that you're with?
Oh, no. I just definitely look over at Achira with this incredulous look of you questioned my skill set sort of like attitude, and kind of just wait for her command.
So this is how it goes down. The man puts himself out after rolling in the dirt for a solid moment in the other room, knocking his coat off. And you see he's bare-chested and covered in a network of scars. It looks as if both of his nipples have been cut off of his body. And there is a image carved into the center mass of his very stocky gut. It looks like a boar, some sort of sigil or glyph that has been carved into the center mass of his flesh. And as he stands, he looks to all of you, and you can see he's furious and about to charge. And as he takes just one step forward, there's a loud crack, and he drops to the ground in a heap.
Achira is just blinks, where she has brought her long gun up and just looks over at this new individual, and well, damn. Sorry, what was your name again?
Camila Cervantes.
Great shot.
I know.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Welcome back to Hunters Entertainment on Twitch.tv. My name is Knoxweiler Burf. I am your game master, and I'm surrounded by some very talented role players who are undertaking the parts of the survivors in our personal apocalypse. We've created this game together, and we're very, very proud of it. We're thankful that you're with us, and we are very grateful for all of the support that we've received tonight. Apparently, there will be additional competency points rewarded to the survivors in the coming week. Again, thank you for your support. Faith, you make your way to Rowan's unconscious body, and you are relieved when you see that she is in fact breathing. There is a nasty-looking bruise across the pretty side of her face, and you immediately check her vitals and find that she is most likely fine, but you, to be safe, begin trying to wake her up, knowing that she shouldn't be unconscious if she's suffering from a potential concussion. And you find some smelling salts within your first aid kit. You crack them open. They're homemade, but immediately Rowan is awake, looking up at you. You're also, while you're here with 5 degrees of success, I'm going to allow you to transfer those over. And Rowan, you'll be able to remove the damage that is on your damage track, as Faith is going to take care of you, wrap you up, and make sure that your bruises are attended to, that your cuts are dealt with, and that you are in a much better place than you were just a moment ago. The two of you are conscious and looking at one another. I leave it to you.
Oh, God, that stuff just never ceases to smell like shit. Oh.
How did you end up down here? Was it the weirdo cannibal people?
Maybe there was somebody shooting out of a bedroom, took some arrows, went to run past it to tell you guys that we needed cover in here, and I fell through a hole, and some ugly son of a bitch stood on my head and knocked me out.
It seems like 3 out of the 5, 6 people who are down here right now fell through a hole, so that sounds about right. Yeah, you saw me fall through a hole. Achira's back there. I think she kind of popped out of the sky also.
There's a crack of a rifle, and this charred man, the man who knocked you unconscious, lunges up for a moment before dropping like a sack of potatoes onto the dirt floor, dead.
That was it.
Yeah, so that's taken care of. Oh, I found Camila.
Camila?
Yeah.
Cervantes?
Yeah, she's down here. She's still super pregnant. But she was tied up, and when I fell down the hole and kind of wandered around a bit, she was here, and I know the orders are to take her back and whatever, but I needed help getting out of this weird
wait, she was tied up with
dungeon.
So these guys got her.
Yeah, is what I understand is happening.
And she's okay now?
Yeah, she's fine. She's got like weird leather human flesh shoes on now, but that's a whole different. That this is a really bad place. This is a bad place.
Where is she?
Just right past the dead guy with Achira and Lampwick.
Rowan's gonna get up and march with a purpose out to where Faith pointed.
As you step through the doorway, you see Lampwick kind of hanging back, leaning up against a wall, blood all over him. You see Achira, and she looks a little dinged up, but no worse for the wear. A couple of scratches and bruises, nothing serious. However, yes, you see a very dirty, hungry-looking Camila holding a rifle.
I look at all of them real quick, but then make eyes on Camila, and I'm like, well, holy shit.
Well, you know, I'm not that holy, but what's up?
Girl.
What are you doing here?
I think the bigger question is, what are you doing here? Didn't we try to...
Yeah, Didn't work. Everyone was downed. I got held up by these fucking animals.
All right, well, we need to find a new exit strategy for you.
Yeah.
I don't think Faith knows yet. I will set her straight. She said something about trying to take you back, but don't worry, I'm not going to let that happen.
Thanks.
Oh, what?
Wait, take her back to what? Achira's like there, like she just got up from where she was kneeling to take out this guy that Camilla had just taken out before her. She's looking over at Rowan and looking over at Camilla. Is Camilla wearing anything from Citadel on her? Like maybe the quality of clothing or something?
Yeah, I'm definitely wearing, if it's still on me, like a very large jacket, so you can't necessarily tell that I'm pregnant, but definitely the way I'm standing and getting up and protecting my belly, you can obviously see that I'm fairly pregnant, about 6 months-ish.
If you choose to, you can have a Citadel faction marker on your jacket, which
Cool.
is a skull with a blade through it.
Yep, that's there.
Tell me that you eat really well. Kira looks over at Rowan and then looks back at Camilla and then back at Rowan and then at Camilla's stomach. I wouldn't have even tried this.
You know, neither would I. And yet here I am.
Sometimes accidents happen. Not much you can do about it these days. But yeah.
Is it going to be a problem for you?
Hey, what's going on? I'm like very confused. So we are not like Jamila's good.
Look, I have my reasons, Faith. Trust me. For wanting to get Camila away from us. She didn't want to be near the Citadel anymore, and after a long, heartfelt talk one day, we both decided that that was probably for the best. As much as I want us to be able to protect Camila, there are certain other factors that you are unaware of that make it much better and much safer for everybody involved for her to go her own way.
You think they're gonna let her go?
No, that's
They're
why.
not gonna let her go.
No, they're not.
Grab her, tie her down, and take the baby.
Which is why I need to get as far away as possible from the Citadel. So again, I ask, is this going to be a problem for you?
What I don't. Okay. Ooh. Let's say that I have a history with the Citadel and I don't appreciate the way that they treat children. And I've taken a stance on that. So, as far as you getting away from the Citadel, no, I don't. But everyone that is a part of you escaping is going to die.
They are already dead.
Yeah, and as far as the Citadel is concerned, they think she is too. We made sure of that.
Tell me that the father is someone who doesn't matter and won't come looking very hard.
He doesn't matter in my life.
Achira looks over at Rowan.
Rowan is trying very, very hard to avoid eye contact with Achira.
Achira, like, puts her gun away and steps over at Rowan and starts. Rowan.
At that moment, Camila kind of bends over with her hand over her belly, trying to kind of just. You can feel like the baby like shifting around in her belly a little bit.
Achira stops and looks over at Camilla.
We should get her some water or something. You all right, Camilla?
Yeah. This little shit kicker here is kicking the crap out of my stomach here.
Yeah, I'd expect nothing less from one of your little ones.
Well, I guess no matter what, we need to get out of here. Questions later, though.
That's what I said.
You'll owe me that if I help you get out of here.
Faith, is this a problem for you?
No, I honestly barely know what's happening right now, and I really do defer to Rowan when it comes to Citadel rule stuff, because I kind of don't. Hey, speaking of Citadel people, where the hell is Omar? Rowan?
I lost track of him. We got separated after the first shot out of the bedroom.
Right.
Went towards, I believe, somewhere. I think he rolled towards the kitchen, and I rolled the opposite direction. And I made eye contact with him, and I told him to fire right before I charged and fell in the hole. So since then, I don't know.
All right, well, he's tough, but we shouldn't hang out in this human flesh cave any longer, I don't think.
Yeah, we're just going to have to assume that others are going to be able to get out on their own. This is connected. When I was outside and high up in the tree line, I saw that there were a number of, it's like a network that they all have connected to each other on the other side. We could get out through there, especially if, from what it looks like, a lot of them were trying to come through the front.
Okay, let's try to search for this way out and find another tunnel.
You got a clear enough view of it that you think you can lead us there?
A clear enough view that I've got an educated guess.
That's the best we got. So looks like you're the leader.
Lampwick saddles into the conversation, looking to all of you. Yeah, we just need to go as soon as possible.
Achira takes a long look at him and then looks away.
I would like for you. Actually, I'll make a roll.
I have a question too when you're ready.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know Lampwick well, but listening to the tone of voice, could I make a roll for detect motives? Like, I just want to understand if he's covering something. I may not know what it is, but I feel like I can discern at least that he's covering something.
Yeah, you can. You have a pretty high bar as far as what you need to roll to do that. But I will, I'll only, for you, I'm going to assign a single black die of difficulty because you have no history with Lampwick.
Yeah.
But otherwise, make that roll. Anybody else who wants to make a detect motive on Lampwick can do so as well. However, Achira, Lampwick looks to you, and before you look away, he catches your eye, and he has a look that is implorative and friendly and sort of desperate. Sort of like, just go with me on this is the look that you're getting from him.
Achira's gonna take it at face value then.
Everybody else, you have no real read, with the exception of Rowan. Something isn't right. You don't know what it is, but you know this man's perpetually full of bullshit, and your bullshit meter is off the charts right now.
I'm gonna kind of manhandle the back of Lampwick's shirt for a minute and kind of grab him by the collar and lean in real close to him and go, look, you son of a bitch, I know you're hiding something like you usually are, but if you don't tell me what it is, I can't help you get out of it.
Look, we have an arrangement. I would tell you if something was wrong. We have a deal. Do we still have a deal, Rowan?
Yes, and because of that, that's why I'm worried, because if you wind up dead or something, the rest of your little masked freaks are gonna blame us for it.
Yeah, like I said, I think I need a tetanus shot. I got hit with one of their traps back there. It's a problem. I'll deal with it, but we need to find some real medical care, not this backwoods bullshit.
Yeah, that's valid. All right, I guess it's probably important we start moving soon, like you said.
I'm here to facilitate what you want, Rowan. You let me know. And he kind of goes about his business.
Achira's going to do her best with what she remembered from what she saw outside to steer away from the front and out towards the network that they saw.
That sounds like a navigation check to me.
Doesn't it, though?
I'm not going to impose any black dice of difficulty. You did get a pretty good look at it, even though it was dark. That said, it is a rat's nest. So I would say just make the roll.
Yeah, is there anything that I have that would go into that? Maybe recon gear?
Yeah, you were performing the recon earlier. However, I don't think that the gear is going to give you an advantage in trying to recall this layout.
Okay.
Actually, go ahead and roll the navigate, and then I will give you a benefit because you used your recon gear, but it will not pertain to this roll.
Okay. Okay, I got a pretty good look then. 2 degrees of success.
2 degrees of success, you can navigate through it. It's not going to be quick. This is, like I said before, a rat's nest of shacks and shanties that have been layered on top of each other. It's filthy, and there are a lot of strange turns. It would be very easy to get caught into a loop. Since you used your recon gear and you are aware of the general layout, it occurs to you that it is intentionally built this way.
They lure people into here. That's what those traps are about. That's why that bear is in here. They want for people to get lost down here. What they don't understand is that we're not down here with them. They're down here with us. And anyone who steps will get squashed. But the important thing is, let's move as quick as possible and get out of Camilla's way when she's about to shoot again.
Somewhere down the labyrinth of tin and rotten lumber, echoing in the distance, you hear Omar scream and gunfire erupt. You're not sure how far away it is, but it's not close. Faith, you are certain, without doubt, it's your brother.
I start to head that direction. I'm going to look for Omar. We got to pick a direction. So.
Make a navigation check for me, please, Faith.
Rowan will try to stop her.
I'm going to add 2 black dice of difficulty as well.
Oh, okay. Can I use my recon gear or survival?
Yes,
gear?
you can. If you want to stop and try to like pinpoint the sound of that noise or where you think the scream was coming from, you could use recon gear.
Does it help anything for Chira has those 2 successes previously with navigation?
That's going to allow you to very confidently make your way through. It's going to take a long time, but you know the general direction. Let's have her make the roll, and then maybe the 2 of you can work together if you want to share your knowledge. Yeah. So, Faith, you have no idea where the scream came from. If you want to work with a Chiro or try to work something out or spend competency, I'm listening.
I think I would just use my competency. Does this count as being in the woods still, or not really? Because we're kind of below the woods.
Yeah, you're not in the wilderness right now.
Yeah. I'll throw 3 at it, so I get 1 success.
Okay. So because I believe when you were at the top side of the cabin, because you were in such a wild place, that I let you be in the woods, but you're not in the woods any longer. All of you have kind of moved past that point. Faith, you're going to spend 3 competency. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So that gives you 1 degree of success. You generally know which way you need to go if you choose to go that way.
All right.
Achira, you know which way you need to go to get out. These 2 directions are not the same.
That's not the way out. I'm just letting you know. I'm not saying we don't go that way. I'm just letting you know that's not the way out.
I am going to go get my brother. I'm not going to leave him or abandon him to be eaten by other people, like some other people in this party. So if you want to come with me, you're welcome to do so. If you want to go in a different direction, I don't give a shit about you. Rowan, come on.
I gotta go. Shit. I can't lose all of you. I understand I love Omar too. All right. I'm fucking behind you.
Lampwick looks to all of you.
We're in formation, right?
As long as you all agree.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Rowan, are you going to do a formation? Yeah. All right. What's your formation?
I am going to let Faith go in front, since she's probably going to be walking the fastest out of us with the most drive to get there anyways.
Okay.
And I am going to ask Camilla if she would rather be closer to the front or closer to the back with her skill set. What's easier for her?
Closer to the back would be best for me.
Perfect. And then I'll kind of holler at Achira and Lampwick to like join up beside me so we can watch Faith's back and clear the way for Camilla.
Lampwick has a pistol drawn and walks with you.
Achira has her crossbow that she's taking in with us.
And so, Faith, you're taking point. You've done this multiple times. As was discussed with Camilla earlier, you've always been a little headstrong, but you're a dedicated soldier. You're skilled. I'd like for you to make a spot listen check as you start to move through the large, rough-hewn door that lies before you. It creaks open loudly as you pass through it. There are large corrugated tin corridors beyond this. They're only 3 feet wide. And you hear the sound of screaming echoing off metal. It doesn't sound like Omar this time, though.
Okay. I rolled 1 degree of failure. I'm gonna use 2 competency to bump that to 1 success. So I'm left with 1.
You have one competency remaining, and as you step through, you stop. You look down at the floor. The dirt is very loosely packed. It forms a perfect thin layer across the surface of the ground in front of you. The back of your neck itches as you realize something here isn't right.
Shit. All right, I think there's a trap right in front of us. We can trigger it, or we can try to find another way around. It's a fucking maze. I'm gonna.
I call up from the back and like to Faith. Are you sure about that trap? Because last time we tried to undo a trap, we kind of got screwed on that.
Rowan would like to try and look around for like a large stick or something that she could possibly hand over to Faith to trip it before she walks through it.
You could pry a board off of the wall pretty easily. All of them are giant nailed boards that are very, very poorly constructed.
Yeah, Rowan will do that. She'll pull like a 2x4 off and pass it over to Faith and go tap the ground everywhere before you step. Make sure that it's solid. Make sure you're not going to fall through it. Make sure nothing's going to explode.
All right. I try to trigger the trap with us not inside of it. Basically.
You hit the ground with this board, and the perfect dust just kind of blows off as some sort of panel underneath the dirt depresses about half a foot. And as soon as it does, there is the sound of some sort of rubber belt breaking and a twang as a pendulum swings across the hallway in front of you at about chest height. Lampwick looks to you, Achira, and shrugs.
Surprised you don't have much more to say.
I'm not in a very talkative mood. This place, it bothers me.
Well, at least with this trap sprung, we could crawl underneath it, or we could time the jumps across. But one thing in particular, this is more advanced than anything that we've seen so far. So that means if they have this level of intelligence, we have to look out the further in that we go.
You can hear your own breathing as it bounces off these tin walls. The metal is claustrophobic. This corridor is very tight. You can only go one at a time. There's not a lot of space if you would need to move away from something that might happen. What do all of you intend to do at this point?
You said that it was swinging chest height, right?
It swung through the space, and it just ran right at chest height. 3 feet. So this metal blade went right across.
But is there a gap when it's at its lowest point between the bottom of the blade and the ground enough to squeeze through?
If you crawl underneath it, you have about 3 feet to the ground.
Yeah, I think that's what Rowan will probably end up doing.
Who's going first?
Rowan will look at Faith and go, "You want me to take this one for you?"
Sure, I'll be right behind you, though.
All right. And yeah, Rowan will try to crawl through very delicately and stay as low as possible.
There's really no way to avoid the panel unless you try to jump over it. And since you're crawling to ensure that you're not going to be hit, that's not a possibility. You move over the panel, it depresses 6 inches down. The blade swings at the same height that it was at before. There's the sound of that belt again and a clatter. This machine, whatever it is within the wall, is fairly simplistic, but it's very effective. You've done enough research, Rowan. This is intelligent guerrilla warfare. Someone has been trained.
Now that I'm on the other side of it, if I made it to the other side of it,
You did.
and because I know of this kind of guerrilla warfare, would I perhaps know how to disarm it before the rest of them have to cross it?
The only way that you're going to be able to do that is to either pry something in this panel that keeps depressing so that it can't trigger the belt. So you'd have to work a knife or something into the gaps that are underneath the dirt and prevent it from depressing. Do you wish to try to do that?
Yeah. Rowan's got like a little pocket knife on her. She'll try and wedge it in there once it comes back up and try and keep it stuck so that it can't depress anymore.
All right. I'd like for you to make a survival check. Unless you have a specialty lock-picking skill of some sort. Any kind of mechanical specialty would also be applicable here. Okay. So it's a very difficult thing to do. You knew that this was a possibility. You cannot get your knife wedged into a position where it is going to be able to do what you want it to. It's very tight. And so you end up wasting 15 minutes messing around with this panel. And I'm going to take a number of risks that I'm not going to disclose to you.
I think Rowan will give up after a while and be like, all right, look, I was trying to keep it up so that none of you guys had to worry about that. But I think she looks back at Camila, who she knows has got a little bit of a situation going on that might make it hard for her to roll or crouch. And is like, I tried. You're just going to have to be real careful. I'm sorry.
Thanks. I got it.
Who goes next?
I would go next, I think.
You make your way across the passageway. Are you crawling just as Rowan had?
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna crawl.
Unable to leap over this panel, you depress it. Your knee sinks the entire thing down 6 inches. And then there's the sound of the belt again, and the blade swings 3 feet over your head. You can see through the slit in the wall. It's very dark, but this thing continues and then stops. And you watch as the panel raises back up. Who's going next?
Is there a plank or something nearby? Maybe like just wood that's longer than that 6 inches across to just put that on top.
Did you
of
take the
that?
board that you pulled off the wall, Rowan?
I handed it to Faith, so she should still have it with her.
Faith, are you
Oh.
dragging that board with you, or did you leave it
I
behind?
forgot that I was holding that. I think I would have left it behind because I wasn't gonna use it. I mean, or I didn't use it rather. I just kind of crawled. So you could use it.
Achira's going to use that to steady it across the hallway to like over that because it depresses down. So to have it over to brace weight, still doing the crawl over it, but having that as a safety measure, and then we'll crawl over that way.
You don't depress the panel. How much does Achira weigh? Like, are you thinking like roughly like 150 pounds or so, somewhere around there? Generally.
Sure. I mean, she tends to scout and climb a lot, so I think
Mm-hmm.
if she's 150, a lot of that is like lean muscle. Probably
Sure.
like more like 130, 140, but
130.
sure, we could say 150. That's fine.
I'm just guessing around generally the area. I don't want to try to pinpoint any exact numbers. I just want to know if this board, which is old, is going to break or not. And
Well,
I
it's
don't.
not like her full weight, no matter what she is going to be on that board at one
Mm-hmm.
time. Because she's crawling on her hands and knees. So it's always going to be less weight depending on which limb is on it at a time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
So you're touching the floor as well.
yeah.
You're just using it as a support. I misunderstood. I thought you were using it as a bridge.
Using it to stop it from depressing. I mean, I guess I'm kind of misunderstanding the size of the board compared
Mm-hmm.
to where this trap is,
Mm-hmm.
but
It's a 2x6 effectively. So you have 6 inches, and then it's about 8 feet long. So it's a sizable board, but it's big enough to sustain probably one person if they wanted to try to use it to cross over it. But it is old and rotten, so that would factor in.
okay. Well, then it can be something that she puts in place for Camilla behind her, and then she just does the regular crawl. But chances are we're going to have to go back this way. So either way, this board was going to be put down as
Mm-hmm.
a
It's like a
type of
safety net.
brace or a safety measure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Lampwick looks to you, Camilla. I could go if you want, or what? How do you want to do this?
If it's okay with you, I'd like to go so that there's one person behind and a few in front of me.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll cover you.
Excellent.
Just be careful.
I appreciate. Before I try to do what other folks are doing, I had kind of a weird idea. Is there anything to grab onto instead of crawling? Anything I can grab onto to potentially use my climb ability?
Yes, climbing could be used here. It is 3 feet across. The wall is very close to you. You can press against either side of the wall and climb over the panel. It's gonna be a little
Risky,
because you're not sure
Yeah.
how much stress the walls can take.
right?
It's the same issue with the kind of rotten board on the ground.
Yeah.
And without again, just generalities, do you feel that Camilla is how heavy is Camilla right now with her baby?
Well, she's normally like about 120, so probably pack on another 20 pounds. She's close to probably 140 there.
Okay, so that's fine.
Or less than that. Hold on. A baby's usually 8 pounds when it comes out of the womb. So she's 6 months. Let's go with more of like a 3 pound. So she's probably like 125 ish. Let's go that way.
Okay.
I mean, there's baby weight too. You gotta pad the womb for the
Yeah.
baby stuff. I mean, weight
The
goes
magic-
on.
The magic number is 200. I'm just going to be transparent about that. And Lampwick
below that.
Lampwick looks a little nervous because you're not sure if he's hitting that or not hitting that, but he might be heavier than that. So we're not sure. He doesn't seem real excited about crossing over the lumber bridge with this. So you're making your way across, and it does creak and groan underneath you. Do you use the wall or not?
No.
All right. Camilla, you make your way. You make your way through. And as you get to the point where the slit is in the wall, right? You see an eye staring back at you from the other side of the wall, low to the ground, and it darts away. The slit is only about this big.
Am I safely to the other side?
You did make it across, yeah. The trap did not trigger.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna hold on to something. I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna take out my pistol though, like my smaller hand pistol. I'm gonna wait for Lampwick to come through.
The Lampwick gets onto this board and starts making his way across in the same way that everyone else has. There's a heavy groan of the rotten lumber as he makes his way past it, and it breaks underneath him when he's about halfway across. And so the panel depresses, but nothing happens. He kind of stops. And then he looks back and then looks towards all of you. And you can see sweat bead across his forehead. And then he keeps crawling. And he makes his way to all of you.
All right.
Hold on. Did anybody see an eye or anything in the slits? I literally like whisper as much as possible. Mostly actually for the whole group to hear, but yeah.
You saw an eye?
Yeah, like it like looked at me and then like turned away.
Turned away. Which direction did it seem like it ran? Like back towards the front where we were coming, or back like towards where we were going?
Was I able to discern which way it went?
Yeah, it went the same direction that you're all headed.
Oh yeah, it's literally going the same way that we are.
All right. Well, everyone get your eye gouging tools ready. Looks like some people need to be taught a lesson about minding their own business, especially when we find them, and, shoot them all. And she does look at Chira like, right? That's the goal?
Yep. Shoot him all.
I
If I had my hand scythe still. But
I can't help but feel that we're exactly where they want us to be.
Yeah.
They want us here.
I think that turning that off says that this is what they want. But they don't realize that they've this time bitten off more than they can chew. And then Achira kind of looks over at Lampwick and does like a little smile in case he gets her cannibal joke.
He smiles. Yeah, he's still Lampwick. He smiles. He's focused on kind of the board behind him, and then turns back, and all of you continue forward. Do you stand or do you continue to crawl?
Rowan will stay low, and she will be very, very, like, with military preciseness, like making sure that she does the same thing where, like, she kind of puts her foot forward gently and steps gently to make sure the floor is not going to cave in before she puts her weight on it. And she's going to, like, feel walls and stuff to make sure that, like, there's no other things that are going to depress or anything like that sticking around. So she's just trying to do her best job to comb through for anything else that could possibly mess them up.
Achira's going to be on her right shoulder, and she's going to be looking high. She's going to trust Rowan to look low, and she's going to look high to see for anything that's going to be coming around. And she's poised to shoot. She still has her crossbow pulled for now.
All right. Everyone can make a spot and listen.
Any gear going into this?
Are you using gear?
Yeah, recon.
Yeah. You can use your recon. If you're stopping and actually using equipment to try to assess your situation.
Yes, I did not include my recon gear in that.
I'll allow you to re-roll it, Rowan.
Thank you.
I don't think I have recon gear.
You don't have anything. You have a long rifle right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That your items are here somewhere in this complex. You just don't know where. It doesn't matter. You still got 4 degrees of success on your roll. So you didn't need the recon gear after all, it appears.
Thank goodness.
All right. So 4 degrees of success from Camilla. Rowan, you even with your gear, you did get 1 degree of failure. Achira, you have 1 degree of success, and Faith, you have 2 degrees of success. Does anybody wish to alter their successes?
Can I give you some of my survival points to make mine a success? Because I feel like this is very important.
How many survival points do you have?
Currently 210.
How many are you willing to give me?
As many as it will take for us to find whatever the next horrible thing is before it kills one of us. However many you would like, Nox.
I will take none of your survival points because Camilla has critically succeeded. So first of all, there's another trap ahead of you. Second of all, one of these panels is hinged on the wall.
So what you're saying then, this hallway that's very trap-filled and hazardous, this hallway, it's a location hazard?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. This is probably the textbook definition of a location hazard. You are surrounded by very intentional death-dealing traps that have been placed by individuals that want you to specifically move through dangerous terrain. That said, Camila, you have some information that the others don't. The success is actually how you found the hinged door. It is concealed. And looks like it's just part of the corrugated tin patchwork. However, it's a small access panel close to the ground, about 2 foot by 2 foot.
Okay, so I'm actually going to cue in on Rowan specifically at this time. And without saying anything, because I don't know if the person or thing that had the eye behind the wall is either tracking us or can hear us. So looking at Rowan, I basically kind of point out that there's the door and there's a trap. And I go back to holding my gun.
And Rowan will do the same for each person around her and send the signals without using words and kind of point it out.
All right. So all of you coordinate. I don't need a further roll. I just need to know which way you're going.
I'm deferring to it.
Yeah. The door.
Okay.
What was that?
You are opening it?
I said Achira's interested in the door. We can keep on going down the hallway to, look at traps as it is, or go into it's a door that's concealed within the hallway, kind of like where the eye was.
Yes.
So Achira's thinking that if we go into there, the reason why that last trap was disarmed was when Camilla saw that eye appear, in that hallway. So maybe it's better for us to go through the hinged door. So that's what Achira's thinking.
I feel like Rowan's on that same page, if for nothing else. Rowan feels like they're expecting them to follow this hallway and this path, so if they have found another area to get to that they wouldn't be expecting them to find, that's probably the safer bet.
I think I might do another spot listen to see if I hear any more screams to help direct us.
There have been screams
Okay.
sporadically. You don't need to make a check for that. And they do seem to be going from the direction that you've been moving.
Okay.
None of them sound like Omar at this point, though.
Okay.
I'm following my lieutenant, so wherever Rowan's going, I'm headed.
Hey, I don't know. I thought I heard Omar out here, and I don't know. There's like other screams. I don't know how many people they have down here, but this is, I don't know. At this point, I think we need to just figure out a way to get through these traps. So, yeah, maybe that door is a good idea. Maybe it isn't, but we should definitely check the door.
Faith, and Rowan will lean in very close to her and go, on a serious note, we all do love Omar very much, but I know how much that he wanted to protect you, and if this gets too dangerous, you know what he would have wanted was for all of us to probably turn tail and make it out of here. I'm not saying we leave him behind, but I'm saying if it gets to a point where, you just shouldn't feel guilty about it if we don't necessarily make it out of here with him is, I guess all I'm trying. Look, I've never been good at this, morale thing, but more...
Rowan, can I help a little here?
Yeah, you're better than I am.
So here's the thing, Faith. To echo what Rowan said, there is love for your brother. I didn't get to know him very well at the Citadel, but we're all trained similarly, and not to sound like a cliche here, but we need to have faith that he's going to survive this and that he's going to get out just as we are.
Yeah,
so
I wasn't planning on chasing nothing. If I don't hear him anymore, then that means he either got out or I don't know. But if I hear him again, or if I see him or some clue of him, I'm gonna go looking for him because maybe he wouldn't want me to. I don't know. Maybe what Rowan said is right, but what about what I want? If there's any kind of chance, I might go take it. I'm not gonna promise you all anything, but
you gotta do what you gotta do, and I understand that better than anybody.
Yeah, for now, I don't hear him. Maybe he got out.
I'm sure he got out.
All right. So this weird door, shall we check it for hidden machetes or spikes, bears?
Yeah, I'll take a look, because another option is one of us can go through the walls and the disarm traps while the others go down through the hallway. Also an option. But I'll take a look at the door first.
Do you try to open it?
Yeah.
It seems to be locked from the other side.
I have, with a Chira from her time in the brig, and just something that she has that I spent survival points on already. She has some metal picks buried in her skin on each wrist, makeshift lock picks. So she's going to discreetly reach down, on the one with her left, to pull that out to try to pick this lock.
All right. Yeah, you do this discreetly. Go ahead. I'm going to let everybody make a spot listen against your stealth, just in case they want to, because it's pretty tight quarters. They may see that you do this. So you can make your stealth to try to keep it hidden. Faith, I think you're fair to say that you're oblivious to this. Yes, Camila, if you are oblivious, and Rowan's oblivious. So no one, it doesn't really matter. Well,
so sneaky.
You're not sneaky about it, but thankfully nobody really is paying attention. It's just too tight, the confines of this place. Does that sound fair? That it's just so crowded.
Yeah,
you're crawling around.
I just use one of them from the right wrist.
And I have another question, and I want to make sure, and if anyone's uncomfortable answering these things about their characters, please, feel free to not answer it. Is anyone over 6 feet? No? Okay. I believe Lampwick is. I will check, but I believe that Lampwick is over 6 feet.
I think he's at least 6 feet. I think Luis said that.
Mm-hmm.
I said I was
mean,
5'8", and someone said that one was very tall.
He's a muscular guy. He's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
And so it's just because of the confines of this space. It's a little difficult to navigate. I certainly want to be conscious of that, and I don't want to make any assumptions about how you envision your characters. So, understanding that, as long as everybody's comfortable, we'll continue to move forward. The door is going to need to be picked here. So, do you have specialty skills for this, Achira, or would you like for me to have you roll a?
I don't even know where that would be. I
Yeah,
think it's the
it's
first time in the game we've tried to pick a lock.
Yeah, I believe that it would be an engineering specialty under expert skills, because picking locks is a very specialized skill in reality. It's something that I have a few friends that can do, and I can pick simple locks, but it's not a simple thing for somebody to pick up. So given that, if given Achira's background, though, I know you don't have it on your character sheet, you can make a survival check, which is very difficult because it's an expert, or you could try to be a little less graceful about this and try to pry the door open.
Like force it?
Yeah, you could make a lift pull.
Oh, lift pull. You know what? Lift pull is better than my survival check. So, can I do a lift pull while using something to do it that I have in my inventory, like maybe the combat knife that I have, or something like that for leverage with it?
Yes, if you wish to use leverage, I'll allow you to use the modifier that you have for your knife, and you can try to pry it open.
Okay, let's do that.
I will remind all of you that this place, while it seems somewhat sophisticated in some of these traps, is very haphazard. And while this was fairly well concealed, you don't know how secure it really is. Okay, do you have any competency remaining?
I do, but
I'm going to say that with a 91, 5 degrees of failure, you're about to break your knife.
I'll use 3 competency points to not break my citadel knife that I have.
I will do you the favor of telling you you only need to spend 2 competency points to make that happen. So
oh, thank God. So, okay.
You feel that the knife is not going to do the job. Yeah, you're going to end up snapping it if you go any further. You realize this and you stop. Even this, it's because it's a citadel blade. It's a well-made knife. This door must be sturdier than it looks.
Should I try the lockpick?
Let me just to be fair, we don't have Luis with us, but I do want to check Lampwick's character sheet to make sure that he doesn't have a specialty here that might help. I know that Kusanagi could help, but as far as to whether or not Lampwick can specifically help this situation, no, his specialties are very, very well known. Picking locks is not one of them.
If I see Achira like failing at trying, like she's like maybe messing with this for a while, can I help in a way?
You certainly can.
Whenever you're done.
I'm glad that you pointed out that this is a timed situation, and working on something like this seems to cause your risk to rise around you.
All right. Well.
So, if you wish, you can help.
So I wait for Achira to fully finish what she's doing. I respect the art. But when I see it's sort of like taking a bit, I just go, if you don't mind, I have a thing too. It's not very cool, and I just take out my fire axe and bust through the door. Because it's probably like old and rickety, right?
It looks old and rickety. I'd like for you to make a blunt attack with your axe.
It wouldn't be a slash or a pierce.
technically an axe is a slashing weapon. However, you're using it to
Correct. Yeah, you're
effectively
right.
batter down a door.
All right, I do this thing.
Unless you're really trying to chop through the metal of the door.
Nah. Let me just triple check it off. Anything else I can throw? Oh, I think it's bludgeoning. That's fine. B.
Do you wish to use anything to alter that 1 degree of failure and make it a success?
I have 1 competency point left, and it's not going to do anything, right, if I use it, so
How many survival points do you have?
20.
If
we were in a forest, I'd have 2 more competency points.
You're certainly not in the forest in this moment. May, would you like to use your survival points to assist Faith in this moment?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so give me 50 of your survival points, and we're going to allow Faith to succeed with 1 degree of success. And at the first 3 hits, Faith, it doesn't work. And there's a loud clatter and a bang. The final hit, though, and there's a heavy swing as the door pushes inward. And you see a dark passage, small and low, that runs parallel, like almost like an air vent, to the passageway that you've been traveling through.
Okay, we have tiny passageway. Camila, can you take a look at this and see if you'll fit?
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna inch forward and see if there's anything. Can I discern how big it is?
It seems to run quite a ways in the direction that you came from and the way that you're going. You don't see any terminals. You don't see anything that would lead you off in another direction yet. It seems to just run parallel with the passage that you are currently traveling through.
Is it big enough to accommodate my size and crawling space?
It's going to be very tight for you just because of the proportions that you're dealing with in this time. But also it's going to be very difficult for Lampwick. The rest of you should be able to move through it fairly easily. It won't be comfortable, but you know, given that you are with child, that makes things a little more awkward. And Lampwick is a fairly large man.
So I have a question then. If I'm looking through this, how far is the trap from this door again?
The trap that was triggered before?
No. Well,
no, the other
know.
trap.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's about 5 feet away from you.
Okay, so idea is I would like to use my spot listen to potentially see if I can see if the trap is on the other side. That the idea is that maybe somebody can go into the other side and disarm the trap so the rest of us can get through the normal way of doing it.
Do you have a flashlight or some sort of light source?
Does anybody got a flashlight on them?
Because you're skating off the light sources of your companions right now. It's pretty dark.
Yeah.
I have a lighter.
But lighter, Zippo.
I think Rowan has some kind of flashlight or something on it.
Yeah, I used it last one time, I think.
You turn on the flashlight. And you see a pair of eyes before you. A dirty, small, ragged figure is hunched inside of this passage. And you are now face to face with them.
I am not gonna move, but I'm gonna definitely put my hands up as in like I'm not here to hurt you. Who do you know how to get out of here? If I'm hopefully coming across as the kind of pregnant woman, I also have
I don't think the individual most likely cannot tell that you're pregnant from the situation that you're in because you're hunched over with a flashlight in a very dark crawl space.
Great.
So I don't think that they know that. Otherwise, I would give you that social benefit. But your negotiation here is probably going to have to be based on what you say.
Okay. Look, can you help us get out of here? What will help you get out? Just please, can you point us in the direction or I don't know if you were the one who undid the trap for us earlier, but I saw you, and I hope that you're trying to help us.
The figure slowly starts climbing towards you.
I don't like how close it's getting, Camila.
No one else can see this except for Camilla.
Oh, thank God.
So I'm gonna back up just slightly and kind of put my hands back again. Please, tell me that you're here to help us.
A hand grabs out at you from a dirty, rag-covered body and grabs your wrist and pulls you closer, weakly.
Okay, I'm gonna go with it.
Their face is right to yours now. You see an 8-year-old boy. Dirty, filthy, ragged, long, straggly hair, filthy clothes. And then you see the necklace around his neck hanging there in front of you. Are those human finger bones? That is where we're going to end our session tonight.